5 Minute Murder. We're going to select a card here. And today we've got old Karla Homolka. And it's really kind of funny because earlier today I did an In the News. And if you guys had a chance to watch that In the News, I could not remember Karla Homolka's name. But yeah, anyway. So Karla Homolka was born May 4th, 1970. She is still alive. She is a Canadian serial killer and rapist with her first husband, Paul Bernardo. She raped, killed at least 3 minors between 1990 and 1992. Homolka and Bernardo were arrested in 1993. She stated to investigators that Bernardo had abused her and that she had been an unwilling accomplice to the murders. However, videotapes of the crime surfaced after the plea bargain and demonstrated that Homolka was a more active participant than she had claimed. After her release from prison, she settled in the province of Quebec, where she married Thierry Bordelaise. So there you go. Out, living, married, I believe has children now. But this is a lady that was married to Paul Bernardo. Paul Bernardo was a well-known rapist. He was out doing all kinds of things, but he was not a killer until Karla came along, right? Now, maybe he would have turned that way. Maybe that would have happened anyway. But really, when you look at it, Karla is the one that really pushed that agenda for him. You know, his very first kill was Karla's sister. And it was because Karla gave the sister to Paul as a present to rape, and then they accidentally killed her together. But it was because of her that all started. And then she would go and help bring the women. She was a sadist and would go and do all those things, right? So it's just amazing to me that she put on this whole show eventually to get them to believe that it was all Paul, that everything was about Paul, and she was unwilling in any of these crimes, even though she started it. So anyway, Karla now served some time in prison, got out, is married, I believe has children. So it's just a crazy, crazy story. You know, it is one of Canada's most famous, actually probably their most famous serial killer duo, right? Paul Bernardo and Karla Homolka. Everybody in Canada knows who they are. You know, Paul Bernardo, I don't want to say too much about him because we might do a 5 Minute Murder on him too. But Paul Bernardo called himself Deadly Innocence, and he had his own little, very, very brief rap career where he tried to do a whole Vanilla Ice thing. And if you listen on YouTube, you can find some of the clips of him rapping, and it is awful. It's really, really bad. Dan Cummins makes a lot of jokes about old Deadly Innocence. So check that out if you watch Time Suck. It's a great podcast, and it's hilarious when he talks about Paul Bernardo and all of that. And again, a lot of men and women find both of them very, very attractive. My good friend E.J. Hammond, I know E.J., you'll watch this later, but she has a thing for old Paul Bernardo. It's always been a thing. We joke around about it a whole bunch. I don't know why. Maybe it's the blonde hair. But it definitely isn't his rap career. But Karla Homolka, if you look at the picture, was a very attractive woman. You know, they were called the Ken and Barbie killers, right? For a reason. Not so much because of the movie now. But yeah, there you go. Another 5 Minute Murder. I think we're actually a little bit short of 5 minutes for the first time ever. And I'm sure that Mary will let me know later on that we were 4.5 minutes or something. But there you go. Karla Homolka did all kinds of horrible stuff, raping and killing her own sister. To then, one of the things that's crazy. Oh, well, we're going to pass that 5 minute mark here in a second. One of the things that amazes me about Karla is she would also dress up like for the rest of the relationship, she would dress up as the sister, right? She would put on a wig, she would dress in her clothing to excite Paul, because Paul only liked young women, right? As she got older, uh, they were only together for like 3 years, but as she seemed to get a little bit older, she, you know, Paul wasn't as interested anymore, and he was only interested in the young girls that she was bringing around. So to keep that, she would keep that fantasy going for him, right? Because he really had a thing for the younger sister. So it's just a crazy, crazy story. But thank you guys for joining us for another 5 Minute Murder. Check out all the other stuff we got going on, and yeah, hit us up. Talk to y'all soon.